Ever since I could remember, I've been the odd one out in my family. My name's Tim, and I'm the only one in my household who's never won a medal or broken a sweat in a sports match. You see, while my family members are all incredibly gifted athletes, I've always been the brainy one. Imagine living in a household where your siblings are like superheroes with their amazing physical prowess. And then there's me, the bookworm, the thinker, the one who excelled at mental challenges. But little did I know, life was about to take a surprising turn. Growing up in a family where physical strength and agility were the most prized attributes was quite the experience. I often felt like an outsider, unable to relate to their excitement over sports matches or their endless discussions about fitness regimes. I yearned for the kind of connection they shared, the camaraderie that came from a mutual passion for all things athletic. But something was about to change that would bring our worlds closer together. At school, I found solace in my studies, devouring books and excelling in every subject. I took pride in my academic achievements, but at home, my successes were met with polite smiles and half-hearted pats on the back. My family didn't understand my world, and I didn't understand theirs. But a mystery discovery was about to change everything. One day, my mother found me sitting alone in my room, surrounded by my ever-growing collection of books. She approached me with a warm smile and sat down beside me. "Tim," she said gently, "I know it can be difficult to feel like you don't fit in. But remember, what makes you unique is what makes you special." Little did we know, her words were about to be put to the test. Her words struck a chord, and I realized that maybe, just maybe, there was a way for me to bridge the gap between my family's world and my own. I decided to embark on a journey to find the perfect intersection between intellect and athleticism. A quest that would change not only my life, but also the lives of everyone in my family. And what I would uncover would shock us all. As I tackled this challenge, I discovered that even the most unlikely heroes can find their place in the world. Along the way, I learned that sometimes the greatest victories are won not on the field, but in the heart. My family started to see me in a new light, and I finally found the connection I had been longing for. But just when I thought I had it all figured out, an unexpected revelation was about to turn everything upside down. One day, while watching my siblings train, I had a brilliant idea. "Hey, sis," I said, "have you ever thought about adjusting your posture when you throw the ball? It can make a huge difference." But would she listen? My sister, slightly skeptical, gave it a try and was amazed by the improvement in her performance. My family, too, started to truly appreciate the value I brought to the table. But this newfound appreciation came with a darker side. The more they recognized my potential, the more they saw dollar signs. They began to devise schemes to profit from my abilities. Soon I found myself solving complex mathematical problems and cracking codes for various clients, all while my parents collected the hefty fees. In the blink of an eye, my gift had become a commodity, and my childhood had been replaced with a relentless pursuit of wealth. How long could I keep this up? My parents became increasingly cold and calculating, putting more and more pressure on me to generate money for them. One day, my father sternly said, "You better keep those ideas coming, kid. We've got bills to pay and a reputation to uphold." I couldn't believe my ears. Was this really my family? At the age of 8, I had made my family rich beyond their wildest dreams. But the cost was too high. My parents, blinded by their newfound wealth and status, became increasingly distant and demanding. They pushed me harder and harder, expecting me to perform like a well-oiled machine rather than a child who longed for love and support. How much more could I take? One fateful day, after yet another grueling session of problem-solving, my mother announced that they no longer needed my services. We've made enough money, kiddo. It's time for you to move on, she said coldly. What would happen to me now? As the years went by, I learned to adapt and find creative ways to merge my intellect with my family's love for sports. Heartbroken and bewildered, I found myself cast out into the world, alone and unsure of what the future held. As I walked down the empty streets, I heard the roaring engines of motorcycles approaching. Who were these mysterious riders? Friend or foe? I soon discovered that they were a ragtag group of biker girls who took me under their wing. "Hey, kid," their leader said. "You look lost. Want to join our crew?" Could I trust them? My life had always been a struggle, not just because of my intellect, but also because of my appearance. In a family of athletes with chiseled bodies, I was the outlier, the fat nerd. I had always been more interested in books and computers than sports and exercise, which only fueled my family's disdain. "You're a disgrace to our family's name," my father would say, his voice dripping with disappointment. "Why can't you be more like your siblings? They're the real stars of this household." The pain of his words cut deep, but it only motivated me to prove him wrong. My siblings, unfortunately, followed in our parents' footsteps, mocking me for my weight and interests. "Hey, Tubby!" they'd taunt. "Why don't you put down that book and try to catch up with us on the field, huh?" Their laughter echoed in my ears, but I held my head high and focused on my own goals. Life with my new biker family was a stark contrast to my upbringing. They celebrated individuality and never judged me for my weight or interests. Instead, they encouraged me to embrace who I was and use my intellect to our advantage. Life with the gang of biker girls was an entirely new experience for me. They were rough around the edges, but had hearts of gold. One night, as we sat around a campfire, the leader, Roxy, asked me, "So, genius, what can you do to make our bikes faster?" I smirked and replied, "Well, if we adjust the fuel intake and modify the exhaust system, I bet we can squeeze out some extra horsepower." Roxy laughed, impressed by my confidence, and said, "All right, Einstein, let's see what you got." As I shared my ideas, I couldn't help but wonder if I would ever use my skills for something more significant, perhaps even to settle the score with my family. We bonded quickly as I dove into the world of motorcycles, learning everything I could from my new sisters on the road. They taught me about the open road, the smell of leather, and the feeling of freedom that came with riding a motorcycle. But underneath it all, I felt a nagging desire to confront my past. One day, while we were stopped at a roadside diner, I met a mysterious girl who caught my eye. She had a unique sense of style, with piercings, tattoos, and an emo fashion sense that set her apart from everyone else. Our eyes met, and I felt an instant connection. As I approached her, I nervously asked, "Hey, do you mind if I join you?" She looked up from her book, glanced at my biker family, and replied with a smile, "Why not? You guys seem interesting." We started talking, and I learned that her name was Luna. She was a kindred spirit, someone who, like me, had been cast out by her family for being different. We bonded over our shared experiences, and our conversations often lasted late into the night, filled with laughter and playful banter. One evening, Luna asked me, "So, how did you end up with a gang of biker girls?" I chuckled and said, "Well, life has a funny way of surprising you, doesn't it? I've learned to embrace the unexpected." I couldn't help but think, though, that maybe fate had brought me here for a reason. A chance to right the wrongs my families had done to me. As the weeks went by, Luna and I grew closer, and our connection deepened. We found solace in each other's arms, and I knew that I had found something special. A love that transcended social norms and expectations. But with every passing day, I felt an urge building within me, a desire for closure, and perhaps even revenge on my family. And as for my love for Luna grew, so did my determination to confront my past and finally settle the score. I found the strength and courage to open up to her about my desire to confront my family. One night, I confessed. Luna, I can't shake this feeling that I need to settle things with my family. But I don't want to do it alone. Luna took my hand and said softly, "You don't have to. I'm here for you. And I know the biker girls will be too. Let's do this together." And so, with the support of Luna and my biker family, we hatched a plan to teach my family a lesson they wouldn't soon forget. We decided that rather than seek revenge through violence or destruction, we would use our combined talents to show them the error of their ways. We began by organizing a charity event in our town, with all procedures going to support kids who had been cast out by their families. The event quickly gained traction and caught the attention of the local media. As the story spread, people from all walks of life flocked to our cause, eager to support our mission and stand up against the mistreatment of children. On the day of the event, my family, intrigued by the buzz, decided to attend. They arrived at the venue, not realizing that I was one of the organizers. As they took their seats, I stepped onto the stage, flanked by Luna and the biker girls. With a deep breath, I began to speak. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming today. I stand before you not just as the organizer of this event, but as someone who has experienced firsthand the pain and heartbreak of being cast out by my own family. Today we are here to show that love and acceptance are more powerful than greed and discrimination." I locked eyes with my family, and I could see the shock and realization on their faces. I continued. "You see, our greatest treasures are not found in the size of our bank accounts or the prestige of our accomplishments, but in the hearts of those who love and support us." As my family squirmed uncomfortably in their seats, I added, "To all those kids who have been cast aside, I want you to know that your worth is not determined by the circumstances of your birth or the opinions of others. You are more than the labels society tries to place upon you." The audience listened intently, their anticipation building as I approached the climax of my speech. "I am living proof that even when life feels impossibly dark, there is hope. Hope that comes from the love and support of those who see us for who we truly are. So, to everyone here today, I challenge you to be that beacon of hope for someone in need. Together, we can change the world."